Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. This is your daily tarot reading for Friday the 28th of September. It's a pleasure to be with you. I'm using the Robin Wood Tarot for this reading. Let's have a look at what the cards want you to be aware of and what the energy is all about. The Two of Pentacles again, wow. We've had a lot of themes this week. We've had the Two of Pentacles and we've had the Wheel of Fortune. Now there's a different energy in the air. So, the Two of Pentacles is dealing with your physical circumstances over and over and over again. Walking this tightrope your whole life just to make things happen. There's always going to be conflict. And ultimately, if you do this long enough, you become smart enough to make good decisions. So you're the person who grows up, and conflict isn't something that's negative or bad or that you need to avoid. It's something that actually hones your skills. So the Two of Pentacles is about really handling the physical world. Pentacles rules money and the body and your daily routine and anything of this earth. It also represents beauty and abundance and prosperity and wealth. And here we've got this amazing sky ship with a kind of bird at the front, and it's sailing over this amazing full moon. And remember, we had a very amazing full moon in Aries recently, which was asking you to move forward, but that you had to settle something before you could take action again. So here you are now taking this action, having given life to your dreams. We're up in the clouds here. That represents air, and air is about thinking and communication. So the thoughts, the clouds that are rising upwards are your ideas coming up. You're handling those ideas and trying to manage them while you're carefully progressing forward, and you're doing all of this so that your dreams can set sail and fly away under this beautiful energetic full moon, which is almost like I can almost see a face in it, like this gentle friend who's just looking at this person and smiling down on them and kind of saying, it's going to be okay. You know, you don't have to walk this tightrope your whole life. It's not always this tense and fragile. So this is someone who's really totally insecure when it comes to their financial circumstances. He's got nothing under his feet to settle him. If he fails financially, he falls and he dies. So as far as he's concerned, the pressure is really on. And in terms of the way he looks, he's a young kid, but he's got kind of clown makeup on. So it's almost like he's been told to do this job, which is ridiculously dangerous. And he's doing that so someone else's dreams can take off. So look at what you're handling today and look at what causes you the most stress and what's most precarious. And whether you're actually invested in that for the right reasons or not. So if you're, having sleepless nights about the loans that you're giving people working for this credit company, because you think that the percentage rates are much higher, but you're using your charm and your ability to communicate to sell these loans, and you really don't feel good about it. It's really precarious for you in the sense of, I don't feel ethically right about this. I'm going to turn into someone who's jaded, and I'm lining someone else's pockets, and I know what I'm kind of clinging to and what I'm maintaining is something that I don't even want. It's like that Will Smith quote, people do jobs they hate so that they can buy things they don't need and that they can live lives that they're dissatisfied with. So what about dropping that? What about letting go of that, sitting down on the rope and finding a way down? That would be more sensible. Now, the next card is the Five of Swords. No, the Five of Wands. And it's quite funny in this one. The Five of Wands represents trivial conflict. It's usually a bunch of boys fighting, but these guys are really, like, the positions are awesome. So he's like in this crouching tiger position, putting his sword up there. He's kind of aiming down. I don't know what he's doing there, what that move is called. But it almost looks like a dance. Looks kind of gay to me. It looks like they're doing something that's a dance almost. So sharing your creative ideas and visions and brainstorming may sometimes make you react physically. It's like, wow, that idea blows me away. Or, oh my goodness, your vision is just so inspiring to me. I just want to hop up and leap into the sky. So this is trivial conflict. So what I'm saying is that rather than living this job that's totally and handling a life which is so stressful and is not maintainable and is unsustainable, and your every day feels like this. So if every day you wake up and it's like, as soon as you open your eyes, it's like, okay, here's the stress. How am I going to make money today? How am I going to get through the day? How am I going to do this? If that's the situation you're handling in, just drop it, seriously. And because if you're hustling like that to make ends meet every day, then something has to change before you're able to transition into a better place. And by talking about it with other people today, you can become involved in this dance, and the other things that people suggest, you will react to. Because your thinking is very kind of just focused on maintaining what is and kind of keeping on top of things. But if you can connect with other people, let them in, they will give you new ideas which will make you jump and which will kind of bring up feelings in you, and you'll realize that it's not just about, you're not the only person in the world who has this issue. Everyone on planet Earth has to make a living, and each one of these guys does too. But by seeing how other people do it and what influence they can kind of exert on you and what advice they can give you, and just different perspectives, that is ultimately going to turn you into the Queen of Swords, who's the opposite to this. The Queen of Swords is the master of ideas and thinking and inspiration and the muses inspiring you, and creativity and logic and creating beauty in the world and freedom and listening to your feelings and making ethical decisions and having a conscience and being a good person who's decisive and who's reliable and who really rules fairly, which means that it's just. So there is feeling here in terms of, does this sit right with me if I'm sentencing someone to prison for 2 years? The Queen of Swords will have no qualms doing that. If a crime has been committed, she will see that the punishment fits the crime, and she is the queen. So we're in this feudal system where queens rule and kings rule, and that to her, she squares that off and she makes things seem fair. Actions have consequences, and she's not afraid to let that sword come down. And she's the kind of person who would help this person out. The Queen of Swords would say, listen, in my realm, people work for a fair wage. What they do, they get in return. If they do good things, they're rewarded for it. If not, they're not rewarded for it. If someone in my realm creates something beautiful and artistic and wonderful, then we will celebrate that and we'll pay the artist for bringing that into the world. But if we see someone like that in our realm who's struggling and who's being exploited for the sake of other people, I'm going to take that sword and intervene and cut this so that this poor kid can be saved. So ultimately here, your thoughts, your friends, and talking about your current situation with your friends and thinking things over is going to rescue you today. So today is the day, if you're in a really bad situation in terms of your finances, and this is even more difficult in terms of your health, or the daily routine is just sinking you, you're doing like 16-hour days and you've got a family and kids and you're at breaking point, then today opening up and saying, I work at this, I do love it, but it's swallowing up my life. I just can't. How have you guys dealt with this? And then get into that dance, and ultimately that's this vision, the Queen of Swords, is going to enter you. She's going to float into your mind's eye, and you're under her protection today. And by talking things over, either with other people or your higher power, your higher self, the Queen of Swords is going to help you make a decision in terms of how things look moving forward. And it's a day of making things fairer on yourself and breaking free of any kind of prison that you're in. So that's what I get for you. Number-wise, we've got 2 and 5, which is 7, and the court card is 1. 7 and 1 is 8, and 8 is power. So you have the power to decide and to bring that sword down and to cut the rope and to put yourself in a position that's much more secure. And that's really about you. And don't be afraid to ask for help. We don't ask for help as a culture, especially in Western society. We're not trained to ask for help. We're trained to do everything by ourselves. I mean, my dad, growing up, my father, he wanted me to be a man who's independent, who doesn't need to rely on anyone, and And that's what's valued in our culture. And being unhappy in a job and doing something that you love, that's not really that valued. What's important in our culture is the success and social standing and but it's your life. And you don't need to live in this pressure cooker every day and ruin your nerves and your peace of mind. You can do something that's different, and that's your unique way of living and making the world a more beautiful place. And only you can do that. And the fire only burns in you. It doesn't burn in me, it doesn't burn in your father, it burns in you. So how can you make that flame bigger? This card is at the center of it. So how can you decide to make your own flame bigger, your own passion, desire, ability to create wonderful things? And how is that going to alter your life purpose so you're not just this exploited, terrified person who's scraping by every day? So really pay attention to the signs and signals that come up today. They'll come as words via friends. It might be billboards that you look at that suddenly give you a moment of clarity. The symbols can come from anywhere, so look out for that. If you'd like a private reading with me in regard to this kind of thing, what is my life purpose? What am I good at vocationally? What's destined for me in love and health and moving and friendships and relationships with men? I can look at all of that by doing a personal reading. And in my personal readings, I use astrology, tarot, and numerology. The way I just combine the numbers with the tarot, I do the same thing in the astrology. So I look at the planets and what degrees they're at, and I give them extra meaning because of that angle. And it really is a blueprint of your soul. So it shows me everything about you. If you're someone who's at a crossroads, or if you're trying to make decisions, whether you're trying to leave a marriage, you're starting a new relationship, or you're starting a new job, or you're thinking of starting your own business and you're not quite sure, then we can get some clarity on that. Just get in touch via the website, gregoryscott.com. Please remember to subscribe to this YouTube channel. I do daily tarot readings, weekly horoscopes, monthly horoscopes for each sun sign of the zodiac. Check out some of those videos, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.